And we're live. Welcome to the 6th episode of the Yoie and Jordi Podcast. I'm Yoie.
And I'm Jordi.
What have you been up to this week, mate?
Well, I think I can say for everyone that, like, if you have Twitter or if you have a timeline that you follow at all, Kanye has definitely been at the top of that for the last, like, couple of weeks at least.
Yeah, fucking oath he has.
Yeah. Well, have you seen, all of, like, he's just been on every podcast. Well, not every, but he's been going on, like, heaps of podcasts, and there's this one video of him, like, talking to, like, reporters. I'm not sure if you would have seen it, but he holds up his phone, and it's, like, showing all the CEOs of companies and how many are Jewish. And it's like, oh, all the Jews are in red, and the fucking screen's, like, red.
That's like a classic screenshot you see back in the day, like, from 4chan or some shit.
Yeah. No, fuck. I was actually looking it up before we started the episode, how many, like, CEOs of, like, Forbes 500 group are Jewish. Are Jews, yeah. And it's like 35%. Which I thought maybe it'd be higher, but when you think of it, that is actually...
It's a coincidence.
No, nothing to do with anything at all.
No, well, he even went and... This whole thing with him, like, they went and seen Trump, and you would have seen... You say he went and saw Trump?
Oh, I
with
remember
Milo and Nick Fuentes and shit.
Oh, I remember him fucking seeing Trump years ago during, like, Trump's presidency, but, like, recently.
Yeah, just the other day.
Oh, okay, I haven't seen that.
True, there's a couple of things he's done, like, in the last couple of days. Yeah, he went and seen Trump with them. I think he... Oh, man, I vaguely got the idea that he was asking Trump to run with him or something like that, maybe. And I think Trump basically told him he's got no chance.
Oh, that would have been so cool to see. The Trump, fucking election or running partners.
Oh, it would have been fucking hilarious. But I don't know. I think, like, the whole thing is just retarded. I think Kanye's he's kind of making a fool of himself.
Oh, he definitely is. But have you seen like, I don't think that Kanye's a saviour, but have you seen him talk about, like, his handlers and shit like that?
About whose handlers? About his own?
His handlers. He's saying that he's like Hollywood. There's friends that he has that are telling him to do things and not do certain things. Like, there was one screenshot Kanye posted of, like, text message he got, which was like, oh, you need to stop all this, blah, 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 or we're going to fucking put you back in a hospital, fucking... Yeah. You're going to be, like, talking, like, in, like, a psych ward is pretty much what he's hinting at.
Yeah, and it was like his old trainer who was Jewish, wasn't he?
No, his old trainer worked for, like, the military in Canada and was a part of a special group that was working on, like, fucking, like, coercion and shit like that. Like, it was, like mind control shit, but, like, I don't think mind control, but it was, like, fucking, I don't know, like, propaganda and shit like that.
Yeah, right.
So it was actually, like, I think he actually, like, was in drugs to, like, fucking make people more receptive to, like, fucking you're convincing, you know?
True. Where the fuck do you get this information?
Twitter. Just Twitter and threads, and you go down to his, just like, oh, who is he talking about? And it's, oh, this guy with his military career and what fucking... There's actually a video of him talking on a podcast about it.
Yeah, right. Oh, no.
Not Kanye, the guy that...
Oh, okay, true.
The guy that was, is his trainer, yeah. He's talking on the podcast about his military thing.
Okay, yes. The situation is weird, and I can imagine he has some crazy insights, even just being part of that whole Kardashian thing as well. Like, there's some weird fucking... they're, like, at the top of this whole, like, social media thing, I would say. So he would definitely have, like, some weird insights into the whole world, how it's all fucking... all that sort of crap.
Yeah, there's actually... Fuck, man, I've actually seen a lot about Kanye these last couple of weeks. But there's a video he was talking about, like, the Jews will fucking, like, use black violence to, like, earn their own money, and, like... Because he's talking about, like, the recording artist, kind of... how he's getting influenced by them and controlled by, like, Jewish people. But he's saying, like, I fucked your bitch, I kill black people, fuck your bitch, but he says the N-word, like, I kill N-words, I fuck your bitch. And
what's that
like,
word?
He's saying, like, I said it. Yeah. But he was saying like, oh, that can be promoted in music, but they'll never do anything that like is talking about them.
Yeah,
like there'll never be anything talking about Jews. And then it cuts to like a clip of like Charlemagne the God, if you know who that is.
No.
He's just like some podcast where he talks to rappers and shit like that.
Oh, okay.
And he's talking to like some music executive who's like happens to be Jewish, and he's talking about how like, oh, we can't have people like saying anti-Semitic things on raps. And then like Charlemagne asks him like, oh, then why do you promote like fucking these rappers that talk about killing people and all this stuff? Like that's all right. And he's just like, oh, well, I've got to eat, I've got to feed my family. And it's just like, so he's okay with promoting it if it's not against him.
Yeah, right.
So he's actually okay with promoting like fucking black on black violence or whatever, but not like anything that could be bad about Jewish people.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is, I'll give it to you, that's pretty odd.
It is odd. I don't think that, oh yeah, that's fucking Kanye's 100% right.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't think Kanye's right either. I think that's absolutely true that Jews own a significant portion of the media. And things like, I'm not an expert on fucking Jewish religion, but if you see them around, they are very cult-like in like most religions, but Christianity less so. But like Muslims and Jews and that, like that, they'll really look after each other. Not like all of them, but like, you know, they'll definitely help each other in like to get positions, whereas, you know, white people are kind of more. Are you looking for something?
Yeah, I was looking for my vape, but don't worry.
Yeah. So I don't know, but I don't think it's I would not agree that fucking Jews are in control of everything.
No.
The media is obviously got a massive influence on what people believe and shit like that. And if you control what people believe, that does have a massive impact on controlling the world.
Yeah, well, it makes me think of just like anti-Semitism, and you know how like especially with like the state of Israel, it's like criticizing like any policy that Israel does makes you like anti-Semitic, or they'll put you as an anti-Semite in their fucking pub, in their articles and shit.
Absolutely.
Oh, have you seen sorry to interrupt. Have you seen with like the World Cup and everything, and like Israeli reporters talking to people?
Yeah, and everyone stops talking to it.
As soon as like, oh, who do you fucking, what's your channel? And they're like, oh, Israel, and they fucking no, they don't want to talk to them.
Well, they don't make a good name for themselves.
No, definitely not.
And this is the thing I wanted to talk about all this shit, is that this is the problem with fucking identity politics to 100 massive %. Is that all these idiots that want to go out there and say white people are the problem or stuff like that, or just identity politics in general, blaming whole races for individuals and stuff like that. Obviously, Jews in this case, it's not an individual thing we're talking about here, but not every Jew fucking owns the media. Yeah. Just like not every white person fucking owns the biggest business in the world. You know what I mean? I'm not Jeff Bezos. This is the inevitable point of identity politics. You're going to shit on white people, and then they go, oh, white people control everything. Oh, it actually happens to be a specific type of white person. And all of a sudden, now everyone's hating the Jews, which I don't think is the right thing. But this is, because I hate identity politics to a massive amount. That's just the inevitable point that comes from all that like conversation.
So what you're saying is Hitler was right. No, definitely. It's like, oh yeah, well, when you're looking at like who is like ethnically or whatever the most successful and shit like that, it just so happens to be that Jewish people are very high on that fucking list. So like obviously if we're talking about like identity politics, attacking like fucking certain ethnicities for like what the past is and who controls what presently, Jews are going to come up as a target. Absolutely.
And it's, I mean, this isn't probably the first case of it, but this is where it's starting to get quite large. I mean, he's a pretty big name openly saying this.
What, Kanye hating Jews?
Kanye, he's a massive name.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, like #1 recording artist for like how many years? Like, definitely been on the top charts multiple times.
Fuck, actually, crazy thing, like, did you see the recent clip? I think I actually saw it today, and it was like he was on Tim Pool's podcast. The guy that always wears a beanie because he's going bald or whatever.
I didn't know that's why he wore it, but yeah. I saw Kanye, like, walking off it.
Yeah, do you know, it's only like a 1 minute clip. I don't know how long he was on there, but Tim Pool says to him, did you see it?
No.
He goes to him, oh, look, I hate what they're doing to you. I think it's like they're going over, like they're overreaching. He didn't say that word, I can't remember what he said, but basically they're going too far. And he's like, well, who is they, says Kanye. We can't say they, you know, they or them. And then Tim Pool goes like, fucking, oh, I don't use they the way that you guys use they. They means Jews.
Yeah.
And then Kanye says, what? What do you mean? And then it goes like a couple of seconds later, Kanye gets up and walks off. So it's like, he's like, you can't, it was weird. It was like, he did, like, it's like, the guy wasn't straight up saying he was 100% wrong, but he was at least saying, oh, I don't blame the Jews 100%, you know what I mean? He could have fucking talked about it for a minute. He wouldn't talk about it.
I do also kind of get why Kanye would walk away. Because he's using, like, I don't agree, but like, imagine if we're talking about, oh, well, Kanye's saying that the Jewish media are fucking attacking him and trying to take him down. And if we're just going to sit on a podcast and I'm just going to say they, instead of talk about the Jews, which is clearly what he wants to say.
No, but I think he was talking in general about how he didn't like how all like the social media and all that, the companies dropped him and all that shit. He just used the word they as in reference to that. He wasn't actually using it to reference to
I get it.
Yeah. He's just like, it was just like, oh, I don't like how they've treated you. And he's gone, oh, what do you mean by they?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So he didn't do it confrontationally.
Yeah, no, I get you, yeah.
Yeah, so it was like, fucking hell, he's very like...
Fuck it, I keep saying things on like, oh, if you really support Kanye, you should fucking tell him to get help and go see a doctor. And it's like, fuck, man, why? It's like, obviously, I think Kanye's not fucking mentally stable. Like, we've seen, like, at least when, like Pete Davidson was dating his wife or whatever, he obviously was having a bit of a mental breakdown on Twitter and Instagram, if you saw that. Yeah. Just, like, posting screenshots of his texts and saying how much he hates him and all that shit.
He has no, like, it's like, I would never do that because of how cringe I would think of it. He does not even care about that shit. But I don't know if that's because he's so famous, like, no one could ever, you could never say anything to really I mean, obviously that guy upset him on that podcast. But, like, I don't know, there's just something about it. Like, how could you even post that shit, like, about your ex and that? You're just like... Like, you would pretend that's not happening if that was happening to you, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Not bring massive attention to how someone's sleeping with your wife that you want to get back.
Fuck, it just reminds me, there was like a fucking, there's just like a funny post on Twitter. It's like some guy posted a story on TikTok, and he's saying that, like, this girl said, oh yeah, you can come over, but can you pick up my cousin first? And then it turns out that the cousin he was picking up to, like, go visit her was actually just the man she was fucking. Yeah. And it's like, he was telling the story of TikTok, and, like, the caption is like, fuck, you'd have to kill me to fucking get this info out of me. So there's no fucking way I would ever tell anyone that story.
That was a fucked up story though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was fucking funny. Another thing about Kanye, I've got to wonder though, how did this team up with fucking Milo happen? You know what I mean? I haven't heard things about Milo in fucking 3-4 years.
He really jumped, like, fell off the face of the planet, I reckon, Milo.
Yeah.
Like, he was controversial for a little bit, but then just kind of disappeared.
Yeah, I remember, because he was like one of those, like, Milo Rex feminist sort of people. Wasn't that what he was about?
Yeah.
I remember in some of his videos, they're like, oh yeah, well, look, feminists are fucking retards. They make a fool of themselves every time they speak. But then when you hear he was like some Christian, conservative, homosexual, it was like, what? The guy was always kind of a retard. But I mean, even now, he's like, not gay.
Yeah, allegedly. I don't believe it.
Yeah. Like that post of him, it was like a picture of him, Kanye, and the Nick Fuentes guy. And I think I was talking earlier, you don't really know who the Nick guy is.
No.
It's a vaguely right dude. But it's just like them on the private jet or whatever, and it's just Milo reading the Bible as they're flying. It's like, fuck off.
Yeah, that's fucking ridiculous. How I feel about like Milo though, it's like the same way I feel about like Steven Crowder.
Yeah.
Where it's like, just because you can make like dumb fucking woke uni students or college students, whatever, look dumb, just because you can make them look dumb doesn't make you fucking a genius, mate.
Yeah.
It's like, because I don't think either of them are fucking pillars of fucking like excellence.
Steven Crowder.
Yeah, no. It's like he just sits in a chair and it's like, oh, there are two genders, prove me wrong. It's just...
You gotta admit, it's fucking gold, but...
Oh, it is fucking gold.
Something gold. There's something funny about the cups, isn't there?
Yeah. No, it is funny. Like, I've definitely seen the videos and it's like, oh my god, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because the cunts that argue with him are just, like, retarded.
Oh, man.
Like, I remember, like, there was one guy who asked, like, Steven Crowder, he's like, oh, what gender are you? And it's like, are you fucking serious? Sitting here with a sign saying there's only two genders, and he's obviously a man. He's not going to say anything but I'm a man.
Yeah.
It's like...
Oh, they're fucking hilarious. Yeah, I'd love to see them actually debate someone that is, Fuck, there's not even many people that I would say I'd want to see them debate. Like, who's someone you really, like, follow?
For, like, politics?
Yeah.
I like Mike Duncan.
Mike Duncan?
Yeah, have you
The
seen...
Revolutions podcast.
Yeah. Have you seen... Do you follow him on Twitter?
I do, but I never see him post. Revolutions is fucking amazing.
Yeah, I mean, when he talks about things, it's pretty good. Like, at least I like hearing his takes, but a lot of it is just fucking about baseball and shit, to be honest with you.
Sure.
But it is, I don't know, it's someone that I'd like to see what he would say in a debate, because I'd really like to delve into his politics.
What are his politics?
Well, I don't know, you can kind of say... I'm not really sure what his politics are, but he has such a kind of rich history, especially because if you watch his Revolutions podcast, it's very informative. He's obviously delved deep into like the ideologies of it.
Yeah,
is what it seems. So I'd like to hear his take on things. I don't know his politics, but I would say that it is left-leaning and not in like an American left-wing sense.
Yeah, I was always under the assumption he was just like a general sort of liberal. I'm not sure, because I've looked vaguely into it, but I don't think I haven't read his tweets that much. You know what I mean? I follow him, but it never comes up, sort of thing. But I don't know. I don't know what his views are. Anyway. I'd be interested, because I do love his analysis of how things operate throughout history. So he does seem to have a good
yeah, he seems to have a good understanding of that. So it would be nice. I don't know. I'd like to hear his politics. I don't know who I actually follow in a political sense, because everyone's kind of pretty shit.
True. Do you read any articles or anything?
No, not really. Like I'll view a couple occasionally. Like I couldn't pick out a publication I follow or anything. Like I'll occasionally look up a study if I hear reference to it, and I'll give it a fucking flick through.
FBI crime statistics.
Yeah,
he's got that bookmarked.
It's my screensaver. Just in case I ever need it.
Every time we did an argument.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it's hard to think, because there's no one really that... I mean, there's people I like. There's a couple on Twitter I really like, but I've never seen what they even look like. Have you seen like Benedict Cryptofash and shit?
Oh fuck, no, I haven't. I've definitely heard the name before, so I might have seen something from him, but I don't really follow him.
No, you don't follow him? No, true. It's only like him and one other guy that I actually genuinely like what they have to say. So I couldn't think of many people that I'd want to see actually argue with someone like Crowder. Like, it'd be funny to go to Crowder and troll him.
I remember there was one video of him where he was trying to like debate socialism, but he couldn't get a socialist on the fucking thing because everyone was just his fan, and like some guy came up and was like, "Oh, I'll debate you," And then he turns out to just be a massive Steven Crowder fan.
No,
and
true.
he's like, get the fuck out of here. What are you doing here? It's like, I can't debate you. You agree with me.
No, it'd be funny just to troll him and pretend to be like a massive lib.
I mean, Zizek is pretty good.
Yeah, I'd like to see Zizek.
But I think it's kind of hard to listen to him sometimes just because of his voice.
Yeah, he's hard to understand.
Like it sounds like the snot ball, fucking whatever they say about him.
Yeah, he does have that.
Yeah. That's exactly it. But like every fucking half a second, it's coming up.
Like, did you see the Zizek Peterson one?
Oh yeah, I've watched bits and pieces of that.
I thought that was fucking pretty amazing. I mean, like, because Peterson, it's fucking a few years ago if people haven't heard it, but Peterson came out basically fucking talking all about the manifesto and shit like that, which, like, if you're into Marx and shit like that, you know that the manifesto is not really that important. I mean, like, it's important historically, but it's not really like something you would really base your viewpoint
ideology off.
Yeah, it's like kind of like a side piece. Like by the end of it, Peterson kind of, the way he was looking at him, it was like he was looking up to his dad for guidance. You know what I mean? Because it was like, I remember at one point he's like, "You're not a Marxist, you're like a Zizekist or something." You know what I mean? Because it was like he couldn't fathom that he liked what he was saying. I mean, I'm sure now he disregards that, but you just watch the video, you'll fucking see it. But have you seen Peterson recently?
Oh, I have definitely seen him recently. He's actually doing a show in Melbourne, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, true. Is he? Yeah.
Yeah.
I seen a picture of him with Scott Morrison, which I thought surprising because, like, I don't love Peterson or nothing like that. Sometimes I can watch a video, you know, if it comes up in a YouTube short or some bullshit, because it's like, I would get the feeling he's a nice guy, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I definitely get the feel. Like, I reckon he would be a good, like, psychiatrist or good psychologist. Like, I don't think he'd be one to tell you that, like, oh, yeah, you're fine, fucking do whatever you want, that's good. I think he would be more like, he would tell you straight that what's wrong and what, like, you know, if you're being delusional or fucking acting stupid or believing something stupid.
No, exactly.
But I think that him in a political sense, I think he's out of his depth.
Yeah, I think he's well out of his depth. Like, he dresses up his language, like, he's got a good vocabulary and whatever, but I don't think he really understands, like, bigger concepts. It's like, funny you say he wouldn't just do what the psychologist wouldn't just say he's doing well or some shit. Yeah, I seen some video and some chick was saying, you know, like, she does shifting where she thinks she's in, like, a... You know, say that? Yeah. She said she does shifting where she, like, pretends she's in a world where she, you know, owns her own business and has a rich husband and whatever. And in the comments, people are talking about it, and she's talking about her therapist. They're like, "Oh, do you tell your therapist about this stuff?" She's like, "Yeah, she shifts too."
It's just like the mentally ill leading the mentally ill. I was like the blind leading the blind. Like, oh my god.
Like, how the fuck is that even legal, gun?
Yeah, the last thing I would ever want is a mentally ill psychologist.
No.
It's like, why would I want someone who's unstable, that isn't right in the head, telling me that fucking if I'm right in the head or not? Yeah,
exactly. It's like, our mate who just got dumped.
Fucking hell, you can't be around the cunt sometimes if you have your missus near.
Yeah, no, I remember one story about him, not one story about him, he was saying the other day, something happened with another friend and his missus, you know, it was a shit thing, whatever, but nothing you'd want to leave your missus over. And of course he's in there piping up, yeah, you should leave her, and shit. It's like, you're clearly just saying that. Yeah. Because you're going through that, cunt.
Fuck, man. He's like, because like this mate, he fucking, like, it's a joke that like his missus would say and my missus would say, and they'd like call like their boyfriends minions and shit like that. And
I just literally call you a minion.
Oh, she tries to, but I dispel it pretty quickly. But,
that's classy.
Yeah, and Charlie was trying to call me a minion. Yeah. And it's like, mate, you get summoned to go to the shop to bring chocolate home or you'll get a spew. And it's like, I remember one time we were at the pub drinking and he was fucking, obviously, like, whenever he's doing something, he would get a spew from his ex. Like, oh, fucking, you got to be home, what are you doing, blah, 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 whatever. I don't know what she said, but that was the vibe, because whenever I was texting, like, my missus, he would go, it's all right, mate, you're not in trouble, you're just having a beer with the boys. Yeah. And I'm like, my girlfriend doesn't care that I'm at the pub having a beer with you guys. It's never been a thing. Yeah. Like, if anything, she's messaged me saying, oh, say hi for me. And but on his side, he's like, I can't imagine a girl not having a go at you for that. So it's like that projection. Like, that's what I'm saying, you can't be around your missus with you, because he'll just like act like you're in trouble, and it's like, oh, you got to watch out, they're always right. Yeah,
it's like, don't you hate when they beat you up and shit?
Yeah, it's like, no, that doesn't happen to me, man.
No, he's a fucking classic cunt.
Oh god, I love the guy, best guy in the world. But he's funny when he has a missus.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of, like, the fucking, you know, the blind leading the blind. It's mental illness shit. You shouldn't, like, that's not a mental illness, getting dumb. But, like, can you imagine some real depressed cunt? They would try and lead you into being a depressed cunt too.
Yeah. It's like that old saying, like, misery loves company.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, he's fucking shitty, and he fucking wants everyone else to realise how shitty it is as well. And it's like, not everyone's shitty, mate.
Yeah, definitely. Like another friend of ours.
Oh, fucking, you're going to have to be a bit more descriptive.
I just don't want to drop names.
You don't have to drop names.
I mean, give me something. 6 of our viewers, bro. They might find you, but I'll just say he had like a big M.
A big M?
Yeah, like, your old housemate.
Yeah, okay, yeah, big M. Fucking hell. No, a few bowling guys, actually.
Yeah, is that... What is with that? Is it... We know a few balding guys, eh?
Yeah.
Is that like... I don't know, is it normal for so many people to be getting bald in their 20s? I reckon I'll go bald one day.
Dude, I was looking at myself in the mirror, shit, no joke. I was like, is my hairline receding? I just like looked at it, and on one side it seemed like it was further back than the other, and I was like, fucking, am I going to be one of these bald cunts with long hair? Like, I'm balding, but I'm fucking just holding on to the last little straws I have left. And it's like, oh, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to go bald gracefully.
Yeah. It would be funny as fuck. It would be funny as fuck to have one of those ones where it's like that. Just like the top is bald, but you still got the sides.
Yeah. I fucking, I was actually Big M, we were talking about him, because like, he obviously doesn't like the fact that he's going bald. And there was this ad, fucking, like, I paid it no attention, didn't even cross my mind when the ad came up. But the ad starts, and the first thing in the ad is hair loss, hair loss, hair loss. and he's just like, come on. It's like, for the one moment I wasn't thinking about it, and now it's like stuck in his brain. It's just
hair loss, hair loss, hair loss.
If you're going bald, there's no other way to like trigger you.
That's so fucking classic. Yeah. So that's like
it's like a cunt thing to do. Oh, you're going bald, mate. Every time you see him, there's this fucking ad doing it to you.
Yeah, fuck me, man. Ads being predatory on like people's little.
Oh yeah. People that are balding. No sympathy for the male balding.
How long do you reckon till they have like fucking ads for fucking suicide?
Well, we're not in Canada, man.
Yeah. But how is that shit?
Oh, well.
What, the whole Canada thing?
What, just really letting people like kill themselves?
Yeah,
and,
there's
like,
multiple
allowing
stories.
really young people to kill themselves, and it's like, oh my god.
It's pretty fucking insane. Like, I was mentioning to you before, and probably people have seen it online, this guy, he must have been like sort of disabled. Like, he said something like that, he couldn't get a job or whatever. And basically they were going to reduce his government payments or whatever. And the guy's like, yeah, I don't want to die, but I don't want to live on the street. And it's like, So he was like, maybe going, if he can't change anything about the money or whatever, he was basically going to get euthanized. It's like, how is that? And he had one doctor sign off on it, something like that, but he had to get 2.
I think it's because like they could like give him benefits if he was signed off on it as well, though.
Oh.
So like he doesn't want to kill himself, but he can get a few more benefits until eventually it's like, all right, here you going.
They just call you up on your day.
Yeah. You're dreading for it to come.
Yeah.
It's like, I couldn't imagine a doctor actually being like, oh, I know this guy doesn't want to die, but here we go. Just inject.
There's nothing else we can do.
Oh, yeah, what a shame as he's injecting him with the fucking... Oh my god.
Because I've seen another one, and this wasn't in Canada, so I'm assuming this happens in Europe as well. It must be quite prevalent. And it was like a 23-year-old girl in Belgium. She's already dead. And basically she... I don't know how many years ago she was at an airport when there was a terrorist attack. I don't know what country that was in. She didn't die. I think maybe some people died or maybe a bomb went off. I don't remember the exact details, but there was a terrorist attack. She lived. She had no injury or nothing, I don't think. And she has PTSD or some shit like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, you know, she had treatment and whatever. Nothing was working. And she got euthanized at 23.
Yeah, that's so
it's like,
fucking...
What?
Like, how could you ever let that happen?
That's fucked up. Harden up, cunt.
No,
nah, I'm joking. You know what I'm saying, though? It's like, fuck me, that's a bit,
That's just
it's
really...
a bit extreme.
Yeah, it is definitely like... Oh, no, because the reason I don't like it, especially is because, like, someone that, like that, whatever, that 23-year-old or whatever... Maybe they didn't have the fucking balls to actually kill themselves. They didn't have like that fucking drive to actually go hang themselves or jump off a bridge or something. Because that's really confronting to do.
Oh, fucking hell.
But to sit in a doctor's office and have them say that, oh, this is an option. It's like letting people that are depressed want to die but won't do it themselves. It's giving them the option to do it. Like have someone else do it to them. And that's like making it more available and easier for them to die.
And I think...
Whereas someone who could like recover and make a better life and not want to kill themselves one day, they're going to see that option and do it. Because like obviously someone who like wants to die isn't in the fucking right mindset, you know?
No, as well... When you said it, this made me think as well, it's like, imagine you're someone that always, you know, whinging and complaining and saying that you want to kill yourself or something. And all of a sudden there's this thing going on. Here you go, you can.
Go on, do it.
Exactly. Yeah, in a way. It's like, come on, there you go. You can do it now. You don't even have to try and hang yourself or something like that. Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, oh, fuck. I kind of said it to everyone.
You're just doing it to maintain credibility.
Yeah. Wouldn't that be a situation? Yeah, it's pretty... Like, I mean, I think it's you should have euthanasia if you're fucking
like
terminally ill. Yeah, that's a different story.
Where I could see it's like, oh, someone who's going to die in a horrible way where eventually they're going to lose all control of their body and they're just going to be in a bed waiting to die.
Yeah, if you're like really short or something.
Yeah, fucking 5'6". I'd rather be
cut
dead.
to the front of the queue, mate.
No, but yeah, I could see it in like that kind of terminally ill case. Like, oh yeah, I don't know if I would do it. Like, fuck, I want to live forever. I want to hold on to the last. I want to hold on to the last day because maybe they find a cure.
Yeah, I'd say the same. I mean, I've never experienced terminal illness where I'm like wasting away, but I would assume the same thing. It's like you never know, something could fucking turn around.
Yeah, even if it's like set in stone, you're gonna die. I imagine I would still have a hope.
Yeah, it's like, fuck it, man. Well, I mean, fuck, once you're dead, that's it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, that's like the whole, like, fuck, you'll never get to see what happens.
Yeah, exactly. You may as well be. I mean, I've never been in a situation where it's like, what if you weren't even in a position to even look at the TV or, like, to even see anything, you know what I mean? Just like, what if you, like, literally, like...
Yeah, no, I'll be a complete burden on my family.
Yeah.
Financially.
You already are, mate.
Financially and emotionally. It's like, oh, where's Jordi? Oh, he's been in the fucking a vegetable in the hospital for 30 years. It's like, I'm holding on, man. I'm coming back.
Fuck. Yeah, I don't know. The whole thing is fucked. I reckon there's absolutely no way you should be able to do it unless you're terminally ill. It's just retarded. I'm not saying it because it's the front to God or some retarded shit like that. It's just like ridiculous.
Well, yeah, for depression, like, yeah, depression can be bad, but like letting him die, it's like, come on, you can get out of that, you know. You can still lead a good life. It's still possible. Exactly. Until there's no option left, you should try everything you can to save somebody. Like a healthy 23-year-old, at least physically healthy, no fucking way should they ever be accepted to be killed.
No, and that dude that's like, he can't afford it or whatever, it's like, how many people wouldn't want to kill themselves if we didn't live in a world where the majority are basically living in squalor? And if you're not a homeless person or something like that, you're a fucking little wage slave. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, that term's a bit cringy, but fuck me, mate. If you're working 40, 50 hours a week to pay your rent, pay your fucking Netflix and eat food, and then you got no savings and do it ever again, you're a fucking slave, mate. Our society functions on slavery, essentially.
Yeah.
I mean, I might be going a little off topic, but I don't think so that much. But it's like, if you this slave thing, there's Frederick Douglass, ex-slave, abolitionist, whatever, got out of slavery. This is back in the Civil War. Gets out of slavery. First, he talks about how good it is, and then I don't know how much longer he says that he sees that the wages or whatever and stuff like that, slavery of wages is not really any different. And this is coming from a person who was a chattel slave, working, picking cotton. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, like I definitely, like, that's a good point. Like, but I think I see it like if you have a slave, like a literal like slave, like you own them and shit, you've got to house them, you've got to feed them, you've got to like maintain their health. Otherwise, it's a bad investment. You know, like you have to fucking keep them alive. And that's the same with like wages. Yeah. Like the average working person earns enough to have a house, have food, and a little bit of entertainment. Yeah, exactly. And like that's almost essentially what a slave gets, except the slave is given that, whereas I'm given money to give myself that. Yeah, exactly. So it doesn't really function that different. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's crazy, but it's like, yeah, that's right. And it's like how much, like, people are depressed or feel no meaning in their life. Now they're wanting to kill themselves, and apparently in Canada you can just go and kill yourself because they don't see a solution to it. So what if that wasn't the case? What if your life wasn't meaning down to slaving away to make some fucking rich cunt more money? Yeah, there would probably be a bit more meaning to your life other than being like, you know, the dish jockey. You just do dishes in the back of a shop. Yeah. It's like, that's not really a life to live for. No, it's not a life to live for. And it's like, but they go down that route where it's like, oh yeah, we'll put people out of their misery before we even consider changing that. I mean, that's just fuck. Yeah, definitely not a fan of putting people down for anything other than terminal illness. Yeah. Another thing, this wage slavery thing, that's a funny little point I always think's funny. The old, because the Southerners were the Democrats back then, like the slave ones that wanted to abolish slavery were the Republicans. The old Southern Democrats were saying, like as their sort of slogan, they were saying that we treat our slaves better than yours. You know what I mean? Oh my god. Yeah, and it's just like, that is insane. And like, yeah, we live in the world with iPhones and shit like that, but we still live in the same economy. I'm sure we live better than a slave in the 1800s. But like, I don't know, man. Yeah, I think like essentially what we have is like, is so similar to the same thing. It's like one step different. Yeah. Even Cicero back in, I was reading in Rome. This is 2000, like 50 BC or something like that. He said that the bonds of the wages are the bonds of the workers' slavery.
So it's like, this isn't a new subject.
Mm.
This is 2,000 years old.
Mm.
Going a little bit off, but I think it relates to like that whole suiciding people sort of thing for being fucking sad.
Mm. What like a pessimistic mindset, and like how depressing is that? Of like just like being okay with people killing themselves.
Yeah, because life's shit.
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
It could never be good.
Yeah, you've already given up to like agree with that shit.
No, fucking oath. I mean, that is a complicated question when you go into then. It's like, how do we change it so the majority of the world isn't essentially a fucking slave?
Mm.
I don't have the fucking exact answer for that.
Yeah, if there was an exact answer, it probably would have happened already.
Probably would have happened already, yeah. That's exactly it.
Mm.
I mean, fuck. What else has been happening anyway?
Else has been happening? Have you seen like all the drag queens in schools and shit like that?
No, I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, well, anyway, there's this thing called Libs of TikTok. But I've never, like, I remember when I was in school, I remember there was like the occasional teacher that was like really like Libby, and like I remember, for instance, in like year 9, I had a teacher that was like a massive like fucking hippie and all this shit, and they hated like oil and fucking racism, and they would go on long spiels during class, and sometimes like, I don't know why in like English in year 9 we were talking about like, oh, if you were living in the days of like Aboriginal segregation, would you do the same? It's like what she's asking.
Wait, I might have had the same teacher.
Fuck, what was it? I can't remember her name.
True, but go on, yeah. Because that's what I can remember. There's one that really always just talked about Aboriginals.
Yeah, I couldn't stand her.
Yeah, she was nice, but she annoyed the shit out of me with that.
Yeah. She definitely annoyed the shit. I remember when she asked that question, she's like, oh, like, would you do the same as what they did? I put my hand up and said yes. And she was like, oh, why? And I was like, just quick on my feet, just like, oh, because I wouldn't know any better. Because I would have just been one of the people at the time. So, good save.
Yeah.
Because then I don't look as racist. But,
yeah.
But yeah, anyway, I think like it wasn't so extreme that I had a teacher dressed up in drag, or I didn't have a male teacher wearing a dress in school to make the trans kids feel more included.
Oh,
it's like, it's just like, why the fuck is like this being promoted? Like, I didn't like it whenever my teachers talked about, none of my teachers ever talked about their like sexual relationships with people. No.
Like, I remember one story I heard that one of our teachers was getting divorced. You know, because she was always upset in class. And someone probably just made it up, but that was the extent of it, you know what I mean?
Mm.
Like,
yeah,
no one ever talked about, why the fuck was that even a conversation?
Yeah. No, I remember, I just think about like, I remember there's one thing that I can remember from my like sexual education, and it's my sports teacher standing at the front of the classroom, and he's like, oh, the best part of sex is right before you come. Why the fuck am I hearing this?
Oh my god. Fuck, that's pretty good.
Yeah, I just remember it. It's the only part of that sexual education that's stuck in my mind.
You think of it right before you come every time?
Yeah, I just think of it.
Oh, that's fucking cool.
I reckon he was right, but
fucking hell, man. Yeah, I don't know. I'll tell you what I don't understand. It's like, I mean, I hate all the trans shit. I mean, when it comes down to how I believe of it, you know what I mean? It's like, I don't believe that that's real.
No.
You know what I mean? We've talked about it before, there's no such thing. What the fuck does feeling like a boy mean? What the fuck does feeling like a girl mean? I wake up and I just exist, you know what I mean? Like, I've said it, I feel hungry. I feel thirsty. I don't feel like a boy. I feel things that a male human feels. You know what I mean? So I think this whole notion that you can feel like the opposite sex is retarded. And it doesn't like, it's wrong. Whatever. But then you have these idiots that believe it. Why are they so adamant and having them come into schools and be their teacher? Like, why are they doing stripper shows at bars with children there? Like, why is that?
Yeah, that's fucking... It's really just trying to, like, push ideology in a way, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, like...
Come on, you stupid cat.
Anyway. No, it's just like... oh my God. Fuck, what was I saying?
Pushing ideology.
Well, yeah, it's like because, obviously, like, if you want to, like, fucking convince a generation, it's like, who are you going to, like, target? Because you're not going to convince 40-year-olds that already think you're fucking full of shit.
I mean, they fucking apparently have.
But, well, they have, but you're not going to convince most.
Yeah.
Or you're not going to convince every single one of them. Like, you'll convince a fucking lot of them, apparently. But, what are really easy to convince are, like, kids.
Yeah.
And, like, telling a kid that gender doesn't exist. There's no, like, men and boys can be anything. Men can get pregnant. Your mum could be a boy if she wanted to. It's like, you're talking to someone who probably doesn't have a full concept of, like, biology and what actually is a man and fucking...
I mean, they believe in fucking the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus.
Yeah. So it's fucking... You could convince them that fucking, yeah, men and women are men. Like, that easily. Like, it wouldn't be hard. And it's really fucking, like, disingenuous. Like, how they would do that in schools. Because it's subverting, like, all of, like... Actually, like, why are we doing that in, like, 5th grade to 3rd grade to people that don't understand the concept of it?
Yeah, no, it is fucking ridiculous. And it kind of goes, like, it's a parallel, sort of similar with religion. In how they try and teach you that at school. I remember at school they did that religious education or whatever.
Yeah.
And they try and teach you that. But it's just, like...
Well, because
at least that doesn't have the weird sexualness to it.
I mean, someone would argue, like, just for the sake of argument, like, oh yeah, fucking, they tell you not to have sex until marriage and blah 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 blah, all that, which is like, I guess, like,
okay, yeah, it does have.
So
it
would have about it.
It's but not telling you how to give a blowjob.
This is extreme. Oh, it's just like how things ramp up. Maybe it's because, like, status quo, like, however long ago, like 20, 30 years ago, is like religion was like more mainstream. And as the mainstream has shifted from, oh, you know, everyone's Christian, blah, 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 now we're all trans and we're going to promote that in schools. Yeah. You know, it's like the dominant fucking ideology, which I would say is genuinely actually like liberal, American liberal.
Yeah.
It like, it genuinely is, because people don't want to look racist, so they'll fucking promote anything to make themselves look like they're fucking an ally.
Yeah, definitely.
Kind of shit.
Well, it's just like, yeah, it's like inbuilt into them now. I remember our friend, he was like 18, Will. Like, just 18, like, was of like this year. And like, the notion of saying anything even remotely against like a standard woke talking point was like insane. Fuck, my stomach is going off.
Yeah.
I remember serious gastro, lads.
I remember one time we were talking, I can't remember why I said it, but I was joking. I was like, oh, when's the white man ever going to get a fair shot? And he was just like, what? How could you say what? And I was just like, I was clearly joking, because it's just funny to say. Because whatever. Anyway, it was funny, and he was just like it's unbelievable that I could say something so heinous.
Yeah.
It's just like, have you ever been anywhere where someone said an off-colour joke?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's like they really, even though he wasn't really into politics or anything like that, it was just like there's something that's inbuilt into them. Yeah, they are all like that. It's fucking a bit weird. But yeah, I don't know. It's just something really off-putting about the whole trans thing being pushed at children. It's like, why do you have to do it? It's like, why do you have... no one likes that weird shit anyway. Why do you have to... Why are you really shoving it down kids' throats? It's like, just fucking weird.
I've seen things of like fucking, like 5-year-olds, 5 to like 12-year-olds having like second gender reveals because, oh, they're a boy now. And it's like, what the fuck is this? It's like, they don't even understand what they're doing. Also, like, to go back on like, oh, I've never felt like a boy. It's like, do you know how like they talk about like, oh, being masculine and feminine, and some are like, I've seen like things like, oh, non-binary masculine leaning.
Yeah,
Shit like that. And it's like, sometimes I've changed a tyre on my car. I've never done that and had this euphoric feeling of being, I'm a man.
Yeah.
I've done it.
Oh,
I've just been like, oh, finally, you know? It's all like, I felt satisfied that I changed my tyre.
Yeah, it's like, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. I've never been like basking in my own like fucking, just like, oh, I love myself so much and I'm so great and I'm so masculine, and it's like, who gives a fuck? Well, what are you even feeling?
Yeah, that is. I get you. That's like a perfect example of like, do they actually think like that?
Yeah, because I would say it's a gender stereotype. Who's going to change a tyre on a car? Well, you and your missus break down on the highway. Who's changing the tyre?
No, absolutely.
So it's a masculine thing. So like, they do something masculine and they feel euphoric in that sense.
Yeah, you remind me of do you follow Males of Reddit?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I do.
If you're on Twitter, Males of Reddit, they might be banned right now. I'm not sure, but either way, basically, I've seen one where a person gets they're talking about how someone, because they pretend they're a woman or whatever, and someone says, "Fuck man, why do I always lose my train of thought?" What the fuck did they say? Oh, they called them stupid or something like that. They implied that they were dumb, and then they're like, "Oh, I felt like such a dumb bimbo." So euphoric or whatever. It's like, I don't know if someone's doing that for a troll or something, but like, this was on there, and people upvoting it. You know what I mean? It's like, you felt like a woman when people thought you were dumb. It's like, what the fuck?
I actually saw a pretty funny screenshot. I can't remember if it was on that, but it was like, I think it was like transposting L's. But anyway, it was like this obviously like this trans woman, and she posted on Reddit being like, "Oh, I just got misgendered in the shop. They called me sir. Do I look like a sir?" And there was a picture of them, and then like there was like screenshots of the comments, but like, actually, yeah, kinda, like, you do. And it was being upvoted. It wasn't like being downvoted. And it was clearly a guy. You can see like jawline, fucking big head. And it's just like he had long hair and glasses on, and he was shaved. That was pretty much made him a woman.
You gotta wonder how autistic these motherfuckers are. Some of them.
There is. I think it's most of them.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it actually is, mate.
Yeah, no, it is. It's like, oh yeah, you don't feel alright, you feel like you're an outcast. Maybe it's because you're a fucking woman. It's like, oh my god. You know what's weird? I know that apparently like women turning into guys is actually kind of a thing in like
teenagers. I think it's more common now.
It is more common. But you never see those in the wild. Like,
true, you don't see many in the wild.
You don't see many in the wild. Well, like, I remember I saw one.
But it's probably all non-binary girls at university.
Yeah, probably.
I think non-binary is classified as trans.
Is it?
I think so.
No, yeah. And
there's a good point though. In the wild is pretty funny.
Yeah.
Like phrasing it.
Yeah, but I remember I was at KFC once and I saw this like, it was either like a lesbian. But I don't think so, because like it was like this short, stocky chick, but she was dressed as a guy, and it's like everything about her was a guy. But you know, she was also like 5'2", and clearly a woman, but like male presenting, I assume.
Yeah, yeah.
Because like, I think if like a guy's dressing as a girl, it's really easy to spot.
Yeah.
But if a girl's dressing like a guy, it just looks like, oh, maybe they're butch.
Yeah, you know, I've noticed that. Like the guys that try to look like girls, that never seems to work. Like they always just look like a dude.
Yeah.
Because of the massive jaw and brow and shit like that, and they're 6'5".
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They have broad shoulders.
Yeah, but then you see the girls. Sometimes you see when the pictures of them, they're saying, "Oh, because it gives them facial hair, and it must make their face grow more." I don't know, does testosterone...
I don't know if it does that.
But it seems like maybe it can reverse a little... No, it can't reverse, you know what I mean? So like the girl's like an unevolved version.
Yeah, the girls are uninvolved.
No, you don't really see them.
I think I know that like girls getting on testosterone, it does give them a lower pitched voice, and it does give them facial hair. And I have read, because I was looking into like how to style beards and shit like that. I grow a shit beard, and I wanted to figure out if there was a style I could.
It's so gay.
Like I was just like, I wonder what styles I could do. And then from reading it, was like there was styles of beards that are like, because like having a good jawline is apparently it is a good thing, and guys have bigger like jawlines than girls, obviously, and so like the facial hair can cover up your jawline to make it seem like more masculine.
Yeah, it's a classic move.
Yeah, so like I think that's why it kind of like a girl be getting it, because they grow a beard, it makes their jawline harder to see, so it can look more masculine.
Yeah, right. Okay, true. That makes sense.
But either way, I think that you don't really see female to male in the wild that much.
No, definitely you don't.
And
you see a few. I don't know if it's just because where we live, you see a lot of
male to female
trannies around. Yeah.
No, I remember in my old place there used to be one that would always walk past my house. Like I'd be walking
just
home.
Leave your house. You reckon?
Yeah. That's it. I just didn't want to say it. Yeah, I was every time like I'd go get Domino's because I live just down the road from it, and I'd be walking back, and they would always be walking past with like a feather in their hair and shit, and they're like just as tall as me, and it's fucking, oh my god. But no, you definitely see a lot more, and I think it could be because of the area, but I assume that I don't think this would be the area with where they're all at, to be honest with you.
I reckon that fucking Pride Centre.
Oh god, yeah,
it's all that shit. There's like the rainbow painted crossing and shit like that. But I do want to change topics. I want to talk about we should talk about that shit heaps of times. I want to talk about this whole satanic thing. You know what I mean? Obviously, did you see the Balenciaga thing?
Yeah, I have seen.
Okay, that shit was weird. Creepy, weird shit. You know, had the pedophile fucking court case or something in the document. Okay, that shit was weird. But this whole notion that it's satanic, all this shit, like I've seen people talk about that Lil Nas X dude. You know, that cunt's cringe as fuck.
Yeah.
Gay. I didn't mean gay and homosexual,
literally.
But lame as fuck. I mean, gay as in lame.
Yeah.
And this lame, shitty rapper. And he fucks the devil or some shit in his video. I don't know. I don't watch that crap, but I vaguely know. And people like all these right wing guys, oh, it's so tiny. It's like, no, that's just cringe.
Yeah.
This is cringe. This is like some goth when you're 15. Like, do you know what I'm talking about? It's like,
yeah, no, I get it. It's like if you were like, oh, I want to piss off my Christian father. Yeah. So I'm going to fucking wear an upside down cross on my neck.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, this isn't evil and disturbing. It's like, this is embarrassing.
Yeah.
This isn't like this thing I saw. What's his name? R. Kelly? No, not R. Kelly. Machine Gun Kelly.
Oh, okay.
No, R. Kelly's okay. Machine Gun Kelly, and he married Megan Fox or something like that. And at their wedding, they drank each other's blood or something. It's like, and people are like, oh, I can't feel like I can. It's gross, but it's also like, I feel like I can't put it properly into words how lame or cringe I think this is. It's not like, I don't go, this is like evil. You know what I mean? It's like,
it's not scary.
No, this isn't scary. This is like so trying to be like dark and mysterious. It's like when you think of that Joker face, you know how it's like I'm twisted with the Joker face. It's like that sort of shit from like, that's what you think of, you know what I mean? This is...
Yeah, I remember fucking, there was, in high school, there was this Wiccan chick in my class. Lamest nerd. Everyone hated them. And they were just genuinely the most unpopular person I've ever met. Yeah. And it's fucking, oh, of course they're Wiccan. And they're fucking, it's like you're a witch, aren't you? It's like, oh, fuck off. It's like you're literally just trying to be as counterculture as possible. Yeah. And the counterculture is based off, oh, I'm going to piss off Christians. And it's like, no one cares.
Yeah, no one cares. Yeah, no one cares.
You just look stupid.
Exactly. It's like with this, and it's like they're wearing like the black stuff, nothing wrong with fucking black, but like with like, it just looks cheap. Like the cheap fucking choker and shit like that, and like it's just embarrassing to look at, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I reckon.
Well, have you seen Witches versus Patriarchy or something?
Yeah.
Like, they got to be, like, I can't recall an exact post here, but they're like, pretend they do spells and shit like that, and it's like, Jesus, man, I'm making some weird noises, bro.
Have you seen, there's a photo and it's like 4chan meetup in comparison to Incel Tears meetup? It's like the 4chan meetup, everyone there looks like a 16-year-old nerd.
Yeah.
Like, they're all generally nerdy. They're not fucking, like... Not all of them look like they're basement dwellers fucking... But they just look like nerds.
Yeah.
And then Incel Tears meetup was all just fucking, like, 300-pound women with blue short hair. And they're all, like, lined up. And it's like... these are the people that are, like... That are... Oh, incels. It's, like, the most unattractive. No one would ever want them women.
Doesn't that just make a massive thing of, like... These are the people that have a lot of influence in today's political discourse.
How?
The biggest loser groups. Yeah. No, it's fucking... Yeah, I have seen that picture, man. It's...
Oh, yeah, I think it's fucking hilarious.
Fucking hell. Alright, want to wrap it up?
Yeah, let's wrap it up. Alright, well, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe and follow us on Twitter. Yeah. Alright, cheers, guys.
Catch up.